She talks to the people all night long, chatting and a-gabbing and a-singing her song. All the divas down on Rainbow Street love to hear Toni go tweet, tweet, tweet. Talking Toni, talk, talking Toni. Oh, talking Toni, really gonna talk tonight.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Talking Toni. I'm Toni Holmperm, the singing diva of Long Island. And joining me today, a very, very special guest, one of the greatest entertainers ever in the world, Mr. Showmanship himself, the one and only Liberace.
Hi there, ladies. Hello. Oh.
Hello. How are you? How are you today, Liberace?
Well, I gotta say, I woke up on the ground.
Well, Lee, and may I call you Lee? Lee?
You can call me anything you want, Toni.
Lee, you look absolutely fabulous. I'm trying to keep up with you. You know, I've got my sequins, I've got my my ruffled coat. I even have these very large balls around my neck.
Oh yes, it's very nice. Yeah.
It's like your coat with the big white balls.
That's right. You know what I have? Like pink mink ones, huh?
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm trying to keep up with you as much as I can. Although I'm sure I would have a long way to go to keep up with Mr. Showmanship himself.
I don't know, Toni. You're looking pretty spark and festive tonight. I don't know. You're giving me quite a run for my money.
Go on, Lee. Go on. No, go on.
Go on. Oh, honey, this is one show. I can't outshine a star like this. No. But do you like this? It's not ostrich here.
Oh, I love it. Especially since I'm sure all of us fans helped pay for it.
Oh, of course.
So now, Lee, I have to ask you. I mean, you were kind of off the scene for a little while, and all of a sudden you've made this amazing comeback. We see you now in Provincetown, and right now, I guess with the Las Vegas Strip being shut down, you've been doing all your shows from home on the as you call it, is it the cream yard?
I use cream yard. The chap snack. I'm very good at chap snack stuff. And when my own, I have all that stuff. We gotta use what we got.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. Yeah, no, it's really quite a different world out here today, and I'm really happy that I got myself an iTelephone when I turned 100 years old.
That's right. You're 101 now, aren't you?
101.
101.
Oh, imagine I would love to be 101 again, but this is my quarantine.
Ah.
All of my them in 3 sizes: thin, fat, and impossible.
Well, you look incredible for being 101 years old. I have to tell you.
Thank you, darling.
Now, Lee, what do you attribute, your youth and vitality to? I mean, do you, take any health supplements, or are there any injections that you take?
Oh, I won't talk about things on the air.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking vitamins.
Oh, yes, vitamin. Yes, that's the one. It tastes just like meat. Vitamin. Yeah. No, you know what? it's about clean living and sleeping in a mason jar at night. And
Mm-hmm.
1 8-ounce flats.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it is.
Oh, that well.
I've never had any work done at all. I've only kept this up like this from, good, clean living.
Of course. The same for me. Plastic surgery. I mean, who really needs it?
Oh, no. Well, you know what? My friend Diller used to have it all the time. See, he would talk about it. I know I never. In fact, I actually almost died once. I went to the hospital, sort of breathing apparatus, as they call it. And see, I was on my back.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came out, my skin, my face was just pulled back, like our dear friend James Fonda, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a wrinkle on it. But I didn't have this. No, I simply laid in this chamber for 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
I looked beautiful, like you, darling.
Oh well, thank you. But with me, I just I wake up. It's a little mascara, a little lip gloss, and I'm good to go.
Well, you put a little more mascara on, right? It's like oh, look at this. I'm so sorry. I'm being served hors d'oeuvres at the happy hour here. See? Please look at that. And this one over here, well, this one's just made out of leftovers. But this one here is a candelabra. Oh, I think I put it over here. Yeah. And this one I got from Baron Hilton. And you know what came with it, Tony?
What?
A $3 million contract for the last Hilton. What do you think about that?
I could only imagine, Lee. I could only imagine.
This is a royal amethyst that was given by the Queen of England.
The Queen of England.
Elton John.
Elton John! Yes! The true Queen of England.
That's enough, sweetheart. Yes, thank you. Scott Thorson. Oh, Tony, thank you for having me on.
Oh, well, Lee, you've been an idol of mine, ever since I was a little boy. I mean, little girl. Since I was a little tyke. Let's just leave it at that. But Lee, you've had such an amazing, astounding career. The silver screen, TV, Las Vegas. My goodness, you even did the Batman show in the 1960s. The highest rated episode of Batman ever.
That's right. I didn't play one character. I played twins.
That's right. You even played twin brothers, Chandler and Harry.
Chandel. Yes, one was evil and one was, it's a villain. Oh, and pictures. I always loved the motion picture industry. You see, I made a couple of films, and they all sort of But I love the industry so much, Tony, that I my greatest contribution to the motion industry of America. I stopped making movies.
Yes, but you are known as being probably one of the most successful entertainers of all time. Really, I mean, and you still are. You still are one of the greatest entertainers that has ever lived, in my humble opinion.
Thank you.
So Lee, I mean, where did this love of music come from?
Well, I grew up in West Dallas, Wisconsin. You see, in a very simple family. And my father was a wonderful, wonderful French horn player. He played in an orchestra in Milwaukee. And, we didn't make very much money.
Mm.
Mother was, even though she was a kleptomaniac. Anyway, she was. You encouraged all of our musical, my brother George.
Your brother George, yes.
George played the violin.
Yes.
My sister Angie was played the piano, and I tried a couple of things. I tried the saxophone, and I didn't like it. It was too much stick, and it just too difficult to play. But I really enjoyed the piano, and I all the time. And my love of the piano was a very young boy. Before I could actually explore on the but I came from a very family.
Pardon me, I'm so dry.
Oh, honey, it's okay. It's dry o'clock.
It must be happy hour somewhere, Lee.
Always happy hour when I'm with you, Toni. Always happy hour.
Now, oh, excuse me. What a horrible time to lose my voice in the middle of an excuse me, of an interview. But Lee, have to ask you. You were you have been involved in so many different areas of entertainment, and I didn't know this, but I found out because I do my research. You're even mentioned by name in the Chordettes' Mr. Sandman song. I didn't realize that line. Give him a lonely heart like Pagliacci and lots of wavy hair like Liberace.
Huh? Oh, and it's all my own hair too.
Oh, well, same. All mine.
Your wave, right, Toni?
All mine. And my husband better keep his mouth shut. He knows what's good for him.
Oh, so much fun. Wonderful.
Oh, but yes. So so tell us, Lee, what's this new world like for you with performing on the as you call it the interwebs and what how did you call it, the Gab chat and the FaceTime, the mammogram?
Yeah, the mammogram, my face, well, I've learned. I perform with my dear friend Miss Peggy Lee.
Yes, your good friend Peggy Lee.
Yes, it's incredible. People ask us all the time, where have you been, Lee? And you've gone away. No, we haven't gone away.
Mm.
We've had bad management.
Oh,
I had no way we'd go away. But you see, I find that in this time of the COVIDian era, we can reach any of the people out there.
yes.
Who are at home, socially distancing. I actually, it's more like physical distancing because, Toni, I feel like we're being very socially right now.
I'm sorry that you broke up. It's those darn interwebs. What?
I'm telling you, I broke up with many girls.
Oh, of course.
But, no, I would never break up with you, Toni.
Oh, I hope not. But I am a married lady. I am a married lady.
Ladies, married ladies. No, I'm grateful that the people that we can reach the people
hmm
the intercom, and that we are
On the intercom, yes.
and the Tinder
The Tinder.
and the Grinder.
The great Tinder and Grinder, yes. Very important.
And, you want to reach out and touch someone, right? But you got to be very careful where you touch.
Yes, these days we have to be very, very careful before we reach out and touch someone. So
True, before. You used to have to be more careful in the moment, but now you've got to be very careful before. But I'm so thrilled that the people tune in and watch us and support our show and support everything that we're doing to
mhm,
entertain the people on the internet. Because it's very, very, very difficult. It's very sad that we can't see theaters. And I have so many friends who perform all over the world
yes, you do.
on our medium to to pay the bills, to feed the bosom and all that good stuff. So I am very happy that I live in the iTelephone era, so that we can reach you all on the intertubes and the web and all these things. But I know it's a very disturbing time. I'm so glad. I am very happy, Toni, that you had me on.
Well, I'm just honored to have you as a guest, Lee. I mean, as I said, you've been an idol of mine ever since I was a small child.
Young ones won't read.
And you're just Lee. What you've done, and I think you're really, people know this about you, is even like with the classical music that you do, you give people the classical music without all the boring stuff.
That's right. We cut out all the boring parts.
You cut out all the boring stuff.
Oh, I got clapped by the critics. Dark. And all of that. I got absolutely destroyed. But you know what? You know who matters to me? My audience. My friends. All of you. Lovely people out there in the farm. Oh, that's right.
And your audiences, they just adore you, Lee. They really do. I mean, I watch when you're live on Facebook, and people are just they're hitting the like and the heart button, and it just means so much to people. And your last show that you did with Peggy Lee, another smash success.
Oh yes, thank you.
And you've been doing that show together, like in all different places, like Provincetown. You two are just you're royalty in Provincetown, really.
Yes, thank you for saying that. Yes, we're not. It's not happening this.
Right.
Unfortunately, Toni, it's very sad. But you know what? Provincetown is one of the first places that I know of very socially responsible. Not only tourists, but also their staff and their performers. As sad as it is, it's not happening.
True, but on the other hand, having you do your shows on the interwebs, as you refer to them, has given people all over the world the opportunity to see you again, and they're very, and I being one of them, we're just very grateful and very appreciative of the fact that we get to see you do what you do so well.
Oh, thank you, Toni. Thank you very much. Thank you, Balcony. Oh my goodness.
So now, Lee, you were talking before about all the women that have chased you. I mean, honestly, Lee, why is it that you were never able to find just the right woman?
Well, you know, my mom was always a very, very tough critic to please. And in fact, Debbie Reynolds played her in my last most.
Yes.
That behind the candelabra.
Behind the yeah, and I even brought out my own candelabra in honor of you today.
Yes. Oh, this is the new budget. This is the new budget. This one's been screwing around corners. Anyway, well, I gotta tell you, you know, for 50 weeks a year, very hard to settle down with the right girl. You can't hold a relation. Oh, I would. Well, you can't leave a woman here when you're on tour. So I was able to settle down.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. But I wonder if your mom maybe you know, if I hadn't, you know, already been married, maybe she would have liked me. Maybe I could have filled that void in your in that, you know, the life of Liberace. Who knows?
Oh, if only you had showed up at my doorsteps, 10 of them. If you had shown up at them, oh my goodness gracious! I can tell you, Mom would have loved you.
You know, and I sing too, so you know, we could have made beautiful music together.
Are we going?
What's that, Lee?
Are we going?
Are we going to together? Hopefully, someday in the future, I would be honored. I would be honored.
Oh yeah, on the cream yard. There's such a delay. You can't do anything.
I know. That's why, you know, your show with Peggy, she was singing, you know, to track, because you know, unfortunately couldn't accompany her except when you had your videos of some past shows where you were together, which were fabulous. They were absolutely fabulous.
Less painful for all of you at your homes in the Midwest there. Wasn't it much?
But it was an amazing show, and you're going to keep doing these for the time being, correct?
Oh, I am. You know, I got to tell you, Tony, I do an all south of the border show in a couple of weeks.
Oh,
it's going to be all the Mexicana and the Espanol and all of the the hoochie coochie. All those things.
Oh well, I for one cannot wait to tune in and see that.
You know, Tony, darling, my beautiful tech director told me that you were struggling to hear me, and I think we can fix that. Ready? But don't.
Oh yes, please do.
If we do this.
Oh, Lee, you're so close.
You know what? Both of us are wearing a stitch in makeup.
Of course not.
Okay. How about now?
Oh yes, I can hear you much better now.
You know what it is? It's those microphones that they plug in iTelephones and all that stuff. That seem to be a very good deal, but they make it very difficult to hear. I'm very sorry, darling.
It's okay. We made it. We made it through. We made it through. That's all that counts. So, and actually, Lee, now that we cleared up that audio problem, we are coming up on our first commercial break. We really are our only commercial break that we do in the middle. So I was hoping that for me and for everyone that's watching, that you could play something for us, and you'll play, and we'll go right into the break, and then come back here and catch up some more with you.
I would be absolutely honored to play it for you.
I'm the one who's honored. So please, Liberace, Mr. Showmanship, take it away.
How about a little beer barrel polka?
Yes, yes.
Dance break.
Hello, welcome back to Talking Tony. I'm Tony Homeperm, and joining me today, none other than the man behind the candelabra of Liberace, the one and only David Maiocco.
Well, hi,
hello,
Tony.
hello, David.
Thank you so much for having me on the program tonight. I really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for being here, and I can't thank you enough. Especially, it's summer. We're finally in summer, and it's hot, and you pulled out all the stops before. You had, you pulled out your big coat. I've got my big coat on.
You gotta pull out the big coat.
It's like everything's got to be big, right? Big hair, big coat, big jewels.
It's all about size, isn't it, these
Yeah,
days?
absolutely. That's how we roll.
It's a very difficult character to play. I'm so glad you get to be yourself. On the other hand, I gotta slip the thing. I gotta slip the balls. Gotta slip everything.
Yeah.
But, I really, really, really enjoy doing what I do, and so honored to be on your show. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. It was actually another local Long Island performer by the name of Lady LaBelle, who you've seen online. She's another huge fan of yours. We just love what you do here on Long Island. And she actually turned me on to you and sent me like the link to one of the shows that you were doing. I think it was the first Facebook Live that you had done. And I was just astounded. I was amazed. I was gobsmacked. And I was just like, words escape me. They really do. Because what you do, and I don't like to use the word like impersonator, a celebrity illusionist, perhaps would be a good word. I don't know. But I mean, you just... I just felt like I was watching Liberace come to life. I mean, everything, and everyone I speak to about you is like the looks, the mannerism, the raw talent, the piano playing. It's just amazing, just incredible.
Thank you. That means a lot to me. All I hope I do is bring some joy and bring, a little bit of the magic that Liberace actually brought to the world, to the women who actually thought they were going to marry him, and even to the men who secretly had a grand old time, but they never admit it. They have children now. They got all kinds of stuff. But no, I'm so happy that. Any little bit that I do, there'll never be another Liberace. So
no.
I'm happy to be part of the, if you call it the bridge that keeps people interested and checking out the YouTubes and the interwebs videos to see really the trailblazer he was. Cher, Celine, all the people who did those Las Vegas residencies, that came from him.
Yeah, they all owe it to him. Absolutely. And David, let me ask you. Because technically speaking, your piano playing and singing, where you're able to really embody Liberace. Where did that come from for you as a musician?
Well, it's a very interesting story, and I moved to. I met Tommy Femia, who is one of the greatest Judy Garland impersonators, embodiments of our patron saint, right? And I met at an AIDS benefit here in Connecticut, where I live. Connecticut 100 kids. I met him, and when I was 29, and he said to me, you belong in New York City. You need to come to New York. What are you doing here in Connecticut? Come to New York. You got to play for these, singers. You could be on Broadway, all that stuff. And so I did. I trusted him, and I moved to New York. Mm-hmm. And wonderful work that I got was playing for, I'd say, the creme de la creme of the impersonators. I played for Tommy Femia as Judy. Oh. Christine Petty as Liza Minnelli. Mm-hmm. Amy Freeman as Marlena Dietrich. And Lauren Bacall. Richard Skipper as Carol Channing. I could go on. Chuck Sweeney, who I work with now, as Peggy Lee. Yes. I was their director. I was their conductor. And an off-Broadway show for an Judy Garland off-Broadway show with Tommy Femia. And it became my life, playing and conducting for the reasonable facsimiles of the superstars. And back in 2000, many of them that I really loved and trusted said to me, you know, you kind of look like Liberace, you're like him with all this stuff, and why don't you try your own impersonation show? And I'd love to, but you got to have the grand piano. You got to have, it's a lot of money to get the costumes. This doesn't come off the shelf at TJ Maxx.
No.
You know? But I decided that I would eventually try it. And 16 years later, in Bridgeport, Connecticut, I was offered a produced spot in a beautiful little theater called the Bijou Theater in Bridgeport, Connecticut, which is the oldest still running movie house in the country, by the way. And I asked Chuck Sweeney to come and do a show with me, and we'd call it Lee Liberace, Peggy Lee squared. And so long story, very long. I got the courage 16 years later to actually try it and do it. And I never thought it would live more than, you know, a couple of shows in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and hey, how cool, you know, and who knew?
Who knew?
What do you think of that?
Who knew? But we're all the better for it, because I mean, the people like myself that love what you do, it's just wonderful. It truly is. And you know what you've been doing lately, especially, you've just been just such a bright beacon of hope and humor and love. It's just been wonderful. Especially, you know,
now, don't we?
Everything is so crazy right now. And I even made like a little post, you know, because a lot of my friends that are doing shows kind of like decided not to do shows this week because of the political climate, and which, you know, I understand and respect. But I felt that, you know, you bring such joy and hope and to everyone who watches you, that I felt like, you know, even in the darkest times, you have to have hope. You have to have hope, and you do that. You give people hope of, you know, that things are going to get better. You really do.
You know, it's interesting. Like, you know, we had talked about it. My friend Chuck Sweeney, who does Peggy, and, you know, I wrote to him, and I said, oh, it's so difficult. I'm so excited to do these shows, to reach out to people, and yet I should, you know, I completely respect what's going on, and I feel bad. And Chuck, who is a very, very dedicated, outspoken supporter of human rights and a better world, said to me, you know what, hon? People want the humor, and they want the laughs, and they want the music. It's good for us. Enjoy it. Do it. People need this right now. So, yes. Toni, I thank you for actually having this and doing this.
Well, thank you for, you know, wanting to, you know, soldier on, you know, because, you know, I try to always be professional and say, you know, the show must go on. So, and that's really I think our attitude. The show must go on. But
it's always been that. It's always been that. And those of us who actually care and soldier on, yes, the show must go on.
Yes. And let me ask you a little bit more about your musical background. Now, were you in, like, back in the you know, your younger days? Were you in like a pop band? I thought I saw like a photo of like sort of like a you know, more of like a pop band that you were in.
Oh my God! Is it okay if the old people drink?
They have to.
I actually was. I was in a rock band, a progressive rock band, And I kept writing music that was, might as well have been classically recorded, but did it with a sort of sexy rock beat. Yeah, I was in a rock band in high school. And yeah, what did you see? Big hair and like earrings?
I think so.
Kind of like today without the earrings.
pretty much.
Yeah, oh God, I wanted to be a rapper. I wanted to be a Broadway conductor.
Mm-hmm.
I never wanted to be Liberace.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I really didn't want to be. And I saw him when I was 8 years old. And I was really, really scared. I thought, oh my God, that's what you have to do? How am I ever going to do that? That's how you become famous, playing the piano? Because I had gotten bitten by the applause bug when I was, what was I? About 7 years old. Mm-hmm. And I was terrified. I had piano lessons and had to do a recital at the end. And I said, you know what? I'm scared. I don't want to go on stage. Terrified of the audience. And thank God, my straight, very strong-willed dermatologist father said to me, well, you paid for the lessons. And you know what? You're going to see this whole year through. And you're going to do the recital. And then you can quit. I said, okay, good. All right, let me do this. And I played the Pink Panther. I was 6 years old. Right? And when I finished, all these 7 and 8 year olds and their parents and stuff started cheering crazy. It was crazy. And I was like, oh, yeah, I get it. This is what I want to do. And from that moment on, I said, all right, I want to do this. I want to play for audiences. I love that feeling. And then I saw Liberace. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, God, is that how you have to do it? Because I can't do that. I can't put on stuff like this and fly around. And it literally took me till I was in my late 50s to really understand and embrace it and say, you know what? This is show business. Mm-hmm. This may still translate. And interestingly enough, it does. People come to see my shows. People come to see Chuck Sweeney and I as Peggy and Liberace. And even young kids who have no idea who we are. They go home and they YouTube it and they, do all that stuff. And they come back again and they say, oh my God, we like you guys better than the originals. And there couldn't be a better compliment because we will never touch the brilliance of the originals, but we're conveying the magic. So it's a very interesting place that I've ended up doing this, and I'm happy to be doing it. I enjoy it. It's a lot of work, and I only hope that I do Liberace at least justice.
Oh, absolutely. Although, I was thinking about it, David, doing Liberace, it's almost like doing drag. I mean, you've got makeup, you've got a wig, you've got costumes. I mean, I guess you don't have the corset, No,
but I should. This is COVID weight.
Yeah.
This used to be flat.
You even have with Christopher. You have a drag husband. Somebody to run around and do the stuff. Well, I have that with my husband Frank.
Oh, he's gorgeous. Is he watching still? He's like making this all happen, isn't he?
Chris?
No, your husband.
Oh, my husband. Oh, he's wandering around somewhere. in the house. but speaking of Chris, now I have to ask you. Now you have, and I've mentioned this before. You know, you have this marvelous budget for these incredible costumes, coats, and everything, but poor Chris only gets a sequin thong. Not that we're complaining. Can Chris? Can he come on? Can he come on?
Oh my goodness! You know, Tony, like they say, less is more. You know what? I want. If we can just do a little jiggle of the camera, because I haven't seen your gorgeous face since we started the broadcast, and I can't wait to. Oh goodness gracious! Look at you, honey. Where's the stick? Where's the stick?
Where's the stick?
Oh, your candelabra's bigger than mine.
Maybe just by a few inches.
Well, every inch counts. Oh, look at that! Here we go. I just stuck our camera. Come on, honey. Come on over here, sweetheart.
Yes, come in, Chris. Come in. Because obviously, Chris is an integral part of, you know, the Liberace experience. We see him running tests and audio and setting things up, and he's manning the ship while you're doing your costume changes. Yeah. So I
couldn't do this without him. Oh, I couldn't. It's not a one-person show. Could not do it.
Same. I mean, without my husband, this would not be a good experience. So, props to the husbands that help us. And you guys have been married since 2011?
Yes, 2011.
Same.
So we're coming up on our
2011. 2011.
Oh,
Same.
wow. Oh, what month?
Congratulations.
We're October.
So we're 1 month younger than you.
Yep, November. We were 11.
So we're like a month apart. It's about a month apart.
We're Irish twins. Oh wait. Irish gay twins.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying. Poor Chris. He only gets the sequin thong. You get the big elaborate costume.
But the funny thing is, I feel so guilty when, like, in Provincetown this year, we had a heat wave, and it was 90 degrees in Provincetown, Massachusetts, for 3 days.
Oh,
and
Lord.
He had to walk the street in the ostrich feather. The costume you saw tonight was what he wore. His cooler costume is a piano keys, all sequin heavy, weighs. Can't breathe in that either. And I got to walk around in just that little Speedo. I felt so guilty. I didn't know what to do.
I feel like I was very giving. That was very kind of you, Randy.
He was. It was pretty generous.
I gave to all of Commercial Street too. I love it.
Oh, yeah. I love Provincetown. It's a great town, and Puerto Vallarta too. We spent a lot of time there this year, so it's a wonderful, yeah.
Well, it's so nice to see a couple that is working in unison and is so supportive of each other, especially now, because like I said, one of the reasons I wanted you on for this episode of my show is because we are kicking off Pride Month, so it is it is Pride Month, and it's great to have David and Chris, a couple like you to show the world, what a great, loving, couple can be. So thank you for that.
We're very lucky. We're very lucky. And apparently so are you.
My husband is very lucky, and I tell him that every day. I say, do you know how lucky you are?
Here, I'm gonna stick this back because it's very difficult to hold a selfie stick and sit on the edge of a piano bench. So I'm gonna take this.
Oh, well,
this way, and we're gonna try and go back to the camera view.
Okay.
I just for a very stretching number.
for Gay Pride. When we're going to do that, but yeah.
We got just a couple minutes before we get to that. But David, I still wanted to ask you, when now you actually didn't start doing your Liberace impression until 2016, correct?
That's correct.
It hasn't really hasn't been that long.
No, it's been a very short amount of time with a lot of research and learning so much about this brilliant man and showman every day. I have to study every day, because I just know that I never think that I'm him. I'm not him. I never do. I hope that he enjoys what I do. I've done a play a couple of times, and I'm licensed by the Liberace Foundation to actually play the character. But as far as, there are people who impersonate and are like, spot on, and people just go nuts, like, oh my God, it's image and stuff. I have my moments, but my biggest thing is hoping that I show him with a great deal of respect, yet make sure that he's still alive in this chap snatch and
as he probably would call it.
He would. I mean, he did the craziest. Because there are also the purists who say, "Oh my God, what are you doing? This is terrible. Lee's rolling over in his grave." It's like he's actually not, because he had the best sense of humor of anybody, in show business. He was self-deprecating. He knew how to ingratiate himself to an audience that was receptive. He was never going to win over the classical critics. He was never going to.
No, they were not big fans of him.
No, they weren't. They never were until Radio City Music Hall, when he sold that out 4 nights, very shortly before he died. The critics finally got it. But we had entered, it's interesting. We had entered that scary 80s, early 80s, mid 80s AIDS crisis.
Yes.
Which was so terrifying. We had just entered that, but we had also entered, that MTV 80s music video spectacle. The beginning of that Las Vegas residency, the beginning of so he sort of sat in both seats in that car,
Right.
It really, it's very interesting. But he managed to finally gain the respect of the critics for what he did. And,
yes.
I'm so glad that at least that was on his way out, that he actually, saw that.
And David, I think what people love most about what you do is that it is respectful. It's coming from a place of love. And I think that's really why people respond the way they do to your performance. It's just, like I said, words escape me, because when I, watch you doing what you do, I'm just like, I don't need to think. I just want to take it all in. And it's just so wonderful. We are getting to the close of my little show. And I want you to tell everyone where they can find you on the interwebs and the Snapchats and mammograms and
all that stuff. Well, it's crazy, so I can be found. I have a website, david-maiocco.com. Not to spell, but if you find me on Facebook, my beautiful husband's holding up. Oh, there, I'm in the picture now.
Oh, what happened?
Tilt it up. But Lee Squared
on Facebook,
Yes.
Instagram, and all the socials, all the sociopathic media. You can find me on. But it's mostly under my name, David Maiocco. Oh, the thing that's in that corner there, right? Wait, you gotta point this way. There it is.
That thing down there.
There. So I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And I'm doing a lot of also virtual piano bar. John Richardson.
That's right.
Piano bar, which is out of Provincetown, and I'm doing a couple of shows there. So yeah, it's mostly under my name. I don't call myself Liberace,
right?
Unless I'm doing a show. And
well, David, I want to thank you, and also Chris, who's behind the camera at the moment, for doing this with me today. I just love both of you so much, and I want to thank you so much for doing this today. And for everybody who's watching, who loves you, David, performing as Liberace, I'm turning things over to you. Take us home. Give us another number.
Thank you. I would love to. I'd be very happy to do that. Chris is going to turn the camera around, and you're going to turn the camera around. You're going to do the thing, and I'm going to play. Tony, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I thought, and actually, in and out of Lee, but as David, on this very significant day, on the memorials of George Floyd, and on the heels of Pride. And I'm so glad that all of you tuned in. And it's very, very, very important that we always celebrate Pride and continue to honor gay lives, black lives, white lives, yellow lives. Every life matters. And we're coming up on that anniversary of Stonewall in New York City.
Yes.
And I think this song, back, I shut up and play. Thank you, everybody, for